Hey friends, welcome to the Perfectly Flawed Planner. Today I'm going to be talking about a bunch of different spreads. I think I have 10 for weeklies. So like I said in my last video, I am experimenting with a Stalogy B6 as like a bullet journal. So for the month of September, I've really just been committed to figuring out what layouts and what different things work for me. So I've been drawing a bunch of different spreads, just for my own experimentation. And I thought, why not share them with you all? So let's just jump right into it. So the very first spread, what I'm using this one for right now is I'm trying to, learn to write with my right hand because I have an injury with my left hand, which I'm left-handed, and it holds me back. So that's what I'm using this for, but really you could use this spread for anything. Because it has like this opening right here where you could put a to-do list for the week, tasks, a quote, and then you get a section for each day. Now, obviously I didn't draw this very neatly. I just drew it with marker. But I am going to flip to another one. Sorry, I marked these out. Oh yeah, it's right here. Duh. Okay. So here is the one that I marked out. So I'm going to give you the specs for all of these. So if you do this layout, which is, just using marker to mark this out, your boxes would be 11 squares, which is almost 2¼ It's 2 1/16 inches by 15 squares, which is 3 inches. So basically like 2¼ by 3 inches of space to write per day, which is really good. And like I said, here's another one where I did the spread with just marker. I didn't use a ruler to make these lines. I feel like if I did, it would be a lot neater. And obviously if I didn't have all this crazy handwriting, it would be a lot neater as well. But you can see here, I just put like a little quote in this. You could really use this for anything. And I wanted to show you one more variation of this one, which is this. This is what it looks like whenever you don't have the marker. You just draw it with just pen. And you can see I'm kind of using this. Well, I was experimenting with using this as a daily spread. I like this big quote. I like the color. I really like kind of matching all the colors. So really you can jazz this up however you would want. You could use stickers. This is just a great week on 2 pages spread. And I do think I like it better when the lines are very subtle versus like the big bold lines. I just think it looks neater, but I did make these lines with a ruler. So if you made the marker lines with a ruler, it might look good as well. I think it gives you enough space if you don't have a ton to plan. But again, you get 11 boxes. So really you could like track your time if you needed to. You would get 11 hours of track time. The only thing is this, if you like labeled it, you would only have 10 boxes, but still that's 10 hours of track time. So, this is very versatile. I think that you could pretty much use this for absolutely anything. The way I'm using it right now is, like I said, to do, oops, 1 second. Sorry about that. Like I said, I'm using it to do my handwriting. And then here you can see I was kind of using it as a weekly spread, just testing it out. But yeah, you could use that for anything. So let me get into my next one, right here. Okay. So this is something that you could use together, which is how I would use it. But you could also just use this page or just this page. So I'm going to break both of them down for you. So let me just show it to you together. Now I did draw the lines with pencil. I kind of went back and forth because the ruler I'm using, and I don't really have it sitting here, is very long. And because of the bend in the book, I kept getting mess ups in the line when I would draw horizontally. You're going to see that in other spreads. But so for this one, I did it in pencil, and I liked that because it helped me get the words. I had to rewrite this a couple times to get it even. I think if I was going to actually use this spread, I would go back over. Hang on, honey. Let me finish the video. It's just my cat. Sorry about that. Anyway, sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. I would go back over this with pen, to make it more bold, I think. Oh, and the other thing is I did use here's my roller. I don't have it. I literally had it sitting right beside me. I didn't see it. So like, it kind of like gets imbalanced a little bit when I use it. So when I draw horizontal lines, especially on this side right now, it kind of gets in my way. You almost want a ruler that sits like, you almost want to put your ruler right here when you're drawing a horizontal line. But the problem is, if you can tell, if I want to take my line the whole way in, the ruler curves. Do you see? Yeah, you can see that on the camera. So I'm figuring it out. Like I said, September is me figuring this stuff out. Anyway, so let me break down this first spread for you. So you can literally put anything here. You could put washi tape at the top. You could, however you want to do it. Each one of these boxes has four squares and then 11 and a half squares. So that is a 3/4 of an inch by 2 inches and 1/4. So that's actually a pretty decent amount of space, like 2 1/4 by 3/4. I think you can do a lot with that. Like I said, you actually would get an 1/8 box. That is the same. If you didn't put this week here, then you could put something up here, and you could use that 1/8 box for something else, notes or whatever. But you don't really need that, because then I did a task bar over here, and this task bar is 20. If we start right here at the same length as this, it's 28, which is 5.5 inches by 11.5, which is again 2 1/4. So you are getting a ton of room for your tasks or notes. You could literally like split this in half if you wanted to, which I think would look also pretty good if you did tasks and then notes or meals. But the reason why I like to combine this spread with this spread is because I like to track my meals here. So the way I would use this, and obviously you can use it however you want, is appointments or things that must get done on these days would go here. All my tasks for the week, and then either meal planning or meal tracking, whichever you do. And again, you could put a quote here and stuff like that. But if you were only going to use this page, I think this would be perfect for tasks. So if you were just going to do a week on one page and this was going to be your spread, I would do tasks. Now, I will tell you the way I laid this out. You can see right here. I think you can see it in the camera. Yeah, I think you can see it. This kind of bled. And the reason it bled is because I was going to tell you this earlier, and then I got off on a tangent. I had my ruler here when I was drawing the line, and I drew the line. And as soon as I drew it, I pulled the ruler away, and it kind of spread down the ink. And the type of markers I'm using are the Crayola Super Tips. Can't say I necessarily recommend them other than for the color selection. They're not that good of quality. I've only had these for a few days, and the ones that I've been using heavily, they're kind of, I'm sorry, I don't know if you can see that. I'm still getting used to showing you things on the camera. Hang on one second. There you go. See how I have that little bump, right? This little piece of marker hanging off, and that one's actually not that bad compared to this one. This one has let me see if I can get that to focus again. This one has gotten really messed up looking. I'm so sorry if you can't see this. I am still trying to figure out my camera and stuff, but just this one almost looks really beaten up, and I have used this one the most, but I've literally showed most of my pages, pretty much all of them on my last video, and I haven't heavily used these markers at all. So I would definitely say quality wise, not the greatest. Color-wise, pretty good. But one thing I don't like, and you can see it happen here, this line is so great when it's only one solid line. But anywhere where I had to go over it multiple times, it just got too dark for me. And I know layering markers is obviously going to darken the color. But I would say for any of these spreads where I used a darker color, because I have some other spreads where I kind of use this same technique, I didn't like it. I would definitely stick to the lighter colors when you're going to be writing in your titles. But anyway, That was a little tangent, but I want to break down the spread for you. So you get every day of the week plus a place for tasks, quotes, whatever you would do here. There are 6 boxes, which kind of stinks because that's almost enough to do a tracker. But I guess you could track this way because you get 15 boxes this way. And so that would actually, if you were into tracking, you could do a nice little tracker right there. I actually think I would really like that. This is a very functional spread because you're getting 15 boxes. So again, you could have literally 12 hours of time and then 3 boxes at the bottom for anything. Like you could write your meals, you could have 3 boxes at the top, which is probably the way you would do it. And you could put like your top 3 for the day. This is a very, very functional spread. Again, you could do top 3 and then you could do your time. You could do lists. I really like this spread. I think I'll use this spread a lot. And I like that it's so minimal and you can combine it with something like this, or you can combine, let me just go back to where we were earlier because I have a similar spread to this that I did have marked and then I took the thing away too soon. So just give me 1 second. Yeah. So right here, I have a very, it's the same exact spread on this side. See how it looks? This color is not showing up on camera well at all, but I do think it looks better with the lighter color. And I didn't use a ruler to make those. And again, I have it marked here too. The 6 boxes by 15 is 3 inches by 1 3/16, almost 1 1/4. And I can't remember if I said that for the other one, but they're both the same because these are the same spread. But then over here, I paired it with a blank page. I love this. If you don't need that extra bar and you just want to kind of have like a notes page for the week, or like here, I did like tasks. And I marked, I was planning on showing you guys this page. I just pulled the sticky note too far away. This page is a standard page. And if you didn't know, the B6 standard page is 23 blocks of writing by 32 blocks. And within, if you keep your writing within all the squares, I think you can see the squares, maybe not. Hang on, honey. My cat just wants to go outside. Sorry. If you keep your writing within the blocks, you get 4.5 inches by 6.5 inches of writing. So I don't know, if you know that or not. If you have a B6 Stalogy, then you could easily find that out. But for anyone who didn't know, that's the, dimensions. And I really think this spread is so freaking good. You could use this for anything. Now I am using this in this spread to track meals. Well, I was. But yeah, I love this spread. I think this is super versatile. Pairing something like this with something like this, or the one I was showing you, I think works really, really well. Just depends on the level of organization that you are looking for. Like I really would look at this as like future planning, like with your appointments, and then like daily planning, if you just needed a tiny little bit of space. So yeah, that's that spread. Yep. And I gave you all the specs. I just want to make sure I told you everything. But yeah, I really like this spread, and I really like in this one, I completely left the top blank, which you could easily do for like washi tape or any sort of decoration, or like doodling you would do at the top. Love this spread. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. Okay. Now, you're going to see right here that I have a sticker because I had a tragedy happen. This is why I'm the Perfectly Flawed Planner, because I have tragedies happen when I try to, do lettering. So I just put a sticker over it and we moved on, and it's kind of covering Thursday, but you guys get the gist. So this is very similar to this spread, but it's just the whole 2 pages. And the reason why I like this spread so much is because, this is like, if you need a lot more room for what you're like, if you were going to do daily time, this is like, if you need more room to write down, like if you have meetings and stuff. So like you could use, right here on the side of the Stalogy, there's all these numbers, right? It goes from the B6, it goes from 7 to 23. So what is that, like 7 a.m. to 11? Oh, my cat's coming to say hi. Can you get down, sir? Thank you. He's going to go over there. He just wants to go outside. I'm so sorry about that. Can you please wait? Or go ask Dad to let you out? Anyway, so what you get in this spread, so I'm trying to keep it on camera, is 6 blocks by 31 blocks, which is a lot of space. So what does that break down to? 1 inch and 3/16, almost a quarter. It's like one little hair off from a quarter. And then about 6 inches. I think it's like one little tick off from 6 inches. Now, if you wanted to use what comes on the Stalogy, like this would be your 7 a.m. block. This would be your 8 a.m. block, 9 a.m. block. I think you could totally do that. And it's right here too. So it's like written here and written here. I know you can't really see it on the camera, but what I would do is I would bump this line up one, and I do that on a different spread for a different reason, but you could bump this line up to where there is no squares. And you see what I'm saying? Like you could put your heading line here, and then you would actually have 32 boxes, and you would have that 7 a.m., time slot. If that's the way you wanted to do it, you could also use like a colored pencil or a light marker and color in like these 2 lines for 8 o'clock, these 2 lines for 10 o'clock, these 2 lines for 12 o'clock. So it kind of alternated and you could see it very easily. This is a great spread, I think, for tracking your time, especially if you have, like, I picture like a hairdresser or something could use a spread like that to be like, okay, Tiffany's coming in at 7, then Monica at 8, then I'm doing nails at 9. You get what I'm saying? Like if you really needed to block off your time, and you would also have half an hour marks if you did that. So again, I'm going to do Tiffany's nails at 7. Monica's going to come in at 7:30 for her highlights. Like you get what I'm saying? Like if you're a hairdresser, but if you literally did anything where you needed your whole hour blocked off and you wanted to have half an hour and hour time slots, this is the spread for you in this book. I think this is a great spread for that, especially if you want to be able to see all your appointments in one week where you don't want to have it being on its own separate page. This would be great for that. Another thing this would be great for is if, you can split this spread up however you want, put lines wherever you want. I'm going to show you kind of a variation of that. And I think it would be, really good for that as well. Trying to think. Oh yeah. And then you get this whole block over here where you could put tasks, to-dos. Again, you could do the tracker that would be like this way, and you would, I don't know, probably use like that much space and then still have room for your to-dos. This could be really good. I also could see like a homeschool mom using this, again, just to block time. Anything. I wish I would, I'm going to show that a little bit better because I didn't think about that till I was filming the video. But what I mean is like, okay, so 8 a.m. on here. Okay, this is not going to be like the greatest thing because I'm doing it live and my camera's kind of like not in the best angle for me to do this. So just imagine that this is like a lot neater and I used a ruler. But just to really give you guys a visual on how I'm thinking right now would be a really cool way to use this spread. Okay, skip to. Sorry, just bear with me. Just trying to give you that visual. And again, you can make this as neat as you want. I am very perfectly flawed, but I honestly would use a ruler if I had a little bit more time, but I just want to, for the sake of the video. So what I'm saying is, and again, you would move this pink line up one, so you'd have the full 2 blocks at 7 o'clock if you needed the 7 o'clock time space. But what I'm saying is you would write your 8 o'clock appointments, and you actually have 2 here. I didn't do a great job coloring the box in, but you can see here, you would have, this would be 8 o'clock, this would be 8:30, 9 o'clock, 9:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30, 11 o'clock, 11:30, 12 o'clock, 12:30, and you could carry that down for your whole schedule. So what I'm saying is this would be a great way to block your time every single day. And see it all in one page. I'm thinking about using this spread as a way to track my time. Like, did I stay in bed until 10 o'clock and do nothing? Or did I get up and, did I do things that I'm supposed to do? Did I do the work I'm supposed to do? What time did I do it? Did I save everything for the evening? So this is good for people who are not traditionally employed, who don't have a traditional schedule. Also to keep track of your time. Like I said, homeschool mom, stay-at-home mom. This could really be good for anyone who needs to track their time. But honestly, the more I talk about it, the more I like this. When I first drew it, I was like, I don't know. I don't know if this is my thing. But now that I'm talking about it and I'm really thinking about what you could use it for, I think I'm going to use this spread. But I have another really good spread that's like this. I don't know. Let me show you the next spread and you'll see what I mean. Okay. So a very similar spread to this is this. And I love this because it kind of reminds me of a happy planner. And I don't know, like happy planners are so pretty to me and so beautiful to me. And this spread, I hope my lighting is a little bit better. I'm still working on the lighting, guys, but I really love this spread. Like the only thing I would do different is I would not bring these blue lines the whole way over. I did that before I thought about the fact that this was just going to be an empty box. I just love this spread. Now let me tell you the specs on it, then we'll talk about it. But you get 6 blocks by 10 blocks. Now, when you draw this spread in the B6 Stalogy, I moved, so like in this spread, I had this line in the first row of boxes, right? But when I drew it over here, I went right above that, right? So like where this line is drawn, there's no squares. And by doing that, I gave myself 33 spaces. So that's why you draw it above all the squares, then you do 10 squares, draw it in the 11th, 10, draw it in the 22nd, 10. And then you get this nice crisp line at the bottom. Now, also when you draw it, you have to use this last like spot that doesn't have a, it's not boxes, it's margin as your 6th box on this side and this side. Same goes for, I'm sorry, I keep flipping back and forth, but same goes for this spread and also for this spread. I forgot to mention that in all 3 of these spreads, you have to use this last box as this last like margin as the 6th box on this side, but not on this side. On this side, you can draw the crisp line. So I just wanted to, say that because I totally forgot. Now you could draw, and I honestly probably will do this, but I had already drawn the blue lines, so I didn't do it this time. You could draw a faint, like not a faint, but a line right here because this last box, I'm sorry, you cannot even see that. I'm so sorry. Oh, why do I have a glare? Okay. Let me see if I can zoom it in. Oh, sorry, shaking my camera. Okay, there you go. So you have to use this margin as a box, right? But this, you could draw a faint line right here because this is slightly bigger than this. And then you would have a box. Then you would have a box the whole way around. So anyway, that is this spread. I'm going to talk about it a little bit more, but I just want to give you a full view. Now, what you could use this spread for is pretty much the same thing you would use these three box vertical spreads for. You could put your AM, your afternoon, and your evening things that you need to do. You could do a to-do list, put a sticker, and then what your meals are. You could do your appointments at the top, your to-do list in the middle, and your workouts at the bottom. It's so versatile, and you get all this space again, just like this spread, all this space. For your lists or your trackers or whatever. I really like this, but now I'm kind of leaning towards the other one with the blocking time. I really like both of these spreads. I could probably use this spread one week, another spread the other week. I mean, if it's a bullet journal, you could use both spreads. You could use this for like planning out your week ahead, and then the time tracking spread, to track your time and see if you managed your time well. I mean, you could literally use every single one of these spreads in the same week if you had a reason to. But anyway, I really like this spread. I think this could literally be good for any reason. Again, you get 10 blocks. So literally the first thing could be tracking your time, or you could track your time like, this is like 8 to noon and then noon to 6, however you wanted to do it. So you could track time in this one too. It's really just like an aesthetic thing, but I really like the aesthetic, and I really liked writing the number behind the day. I really like that. I do think for October, I might do stickers. I think I might get more into that. But again, for September, I just really wanted to get basic layouts down, and I'm really loving this one. Okay. So this is another one that I really love. Actually both of these, but we're going to talk about this one first. So I really like this spread because you get a decent size box that's different than like the the vertical ones I was showing you. So you kind of get like a fatter, squarer, it's still a rectangle, but it's a more square rectangle box. And I really appreciate that. So these boxes are 11 and a half blocks by 7 blocks. And that's 2 1/4 inches by 1 3/8 inches, however you say that. So that is a pretty decent size. You get 7, and then if you put the title there, technically 6, but you could write a lot of information in there. And I love this extra box and the way you could put anything in here, again, task, quote, whatever. But the way I have this one laid out is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So you could put one thing for each day. So the way I envision this would be like if you do like a cleaning method and you would put like cleaning at the top and then like, okay, Monday I'm going to clean the bathroom. Tuesday I'm going to clean the kitchen. Wednesday I'm going to clean the living room. Thursday the bedroom. Friday the second bathroom. Saturday, the laundry room. Sunday, the office. You know what I mean? It's just a really, it's just a really cool, quick thing you could have. And then you could have the rest of your week, your appointments or whatever you needed laid out. This is all the next couple spreads I'm going to show you are all going to be like this week on one page, which in a journal this small, like a B6 size, I really didn't think I would like the week on one page spreads, but literally like the last one I showed you and this one, I really like. I think it's really usable. If you didn't need to track that many things, or I think it's amazing for future planning. So maybe at the beginning of your month, you draw out a bunch of these and then you just, as things come up, you just go ahead and pop them in your week. And then maybe you use a bigger spread like this, or you use like a week on 4 pages, or each week gets a daily page. And that's where you do your more heavy planning. That would also be good for these. I just really like how this spread turns out. Right here where this line is really messed up, that's where the thing with the ruler happened. I had the ruler sitting up here, and then when I pushed down with the pen, it got so far away and then it kind of dipped down a little bit. So just be careful, that you are putting your ruler, you're really like pushing it down and you're putting your ruler, just on one side. That's my tip to avoid that. It's not that big of a deal. It really, again, like I'm really trying to embrace the flaws of my planner and, not be, as much of a perfectionist and just embracing the beauty of whatever it is. That hence the name of my channel. Because in the past, something like this would have made me not want to use this whole book. I know that sounds silly, but like that's how bad it was. I'd be like, I made a mistake. Okay, nope, just get rid of this. I don't want to see it. It was a really big problem for me. And as I've gotten older, I just realized like I have to embrace my flaws. That's kind of like a life lesson to just embrace our flaws and, work on the things we can work on, but, just appreciate the fact that we are perfectly flawed. But I think in planning and in bullet journaling, it's given me a lot of peace to be able to say, okay, I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to do silly things. It's okay. And I do a lot of silly things. And I'm sure if you watch my other video, you've seen that. And I'm sure I could have spelled things wrong and done things weird even in this video, but that's just the way it is around here because I'm very perfectly flawed. Anyway, let me get into this spread. Now, I love this spread. I literally love this spread. And I'll tell you why. Because I love the idea of using this spread to observe or track something. So what do I mean by that? So you could use this if you were a gardener, you could set up, and you have your gardening season, you could set up one of these for each week of gardening season. And then every day you could have, you could jot out your notes about what happened in your garden. And you could put this in a whole section, you could open here and say, okay, this is where the gardening section is going to be. And you could have a bunch of these. And then every single week, you would have the whole week on one page, but you have all these lines and all these boxes to write what you need to write. So the specs on this are you get 22 or 23. Now, I said that because if you bumped these out to here, you would get 23. But if you keep them inside the line, you would get 22 boxes, which is 4.5 inches of space. And then 5 boxes, which is 1 inch of space. I just think, oh my gosh, I love this spread so much if you're going to track something. Like another thing would be like, stargazing or, moon watching and like the different things you saw, anything out in nature. Like I'm going to use this spread for probably multiple things. Again, another thing this would be really good for, if you were like watching a TV show or you were reading a book and you were just taking like a few notes every night on what you read. I don't know. I feel like this spread has so much potential. And when I drew it, I really wasn't sure about it. And then earlier I was thinking about what I would use this for. And I was like, man, I just love being able to see everything for the week, all my notes on something for the week on one page, and it being horizontal instead of vertical. Because when I journal, I really like horizontal. I would not like to journal on a space like this. I would journal this way, which is definitely a cool option I haven't thought about until right now. This would be a cool way too if you needed a lot of space. So take that as an extra spread. Hey, you can turn your journal this way. And if you need, if you're going to be journaling or you're going to be observing something, this would be a really good way to do it too. But I love this. And I also love that there's no extra notes page. There's no extra notes section. It's literally just 7 sections. So let me talk about how I did that because, the math doesn't work out because this is only 23. It's only 23 blocks. So what I had to do to make this spread work, and this will bother some people, doesn't bother me at all, but I had to, let me get it zoomed in here. Let me see if we can get it focused. Okay. So what I had to do was I had to draw in 2 extra boxes. And then I just drew a faint line in pencil right under here so that you still would have the separation, which is, again, this doesn't bother me at all. The only thing that I thought would bother people is you will have to write over this. So that could be a deal breaker for some people. Like I said, definitely not a deal breaker for me. I'm cool with that. I will write right over that and I know it won't have any problem, but I understand for some people, they will not like it. And at first I didn't think I would like it either, but now that I'm looking at it, it's so faint, you won't even notice it once it's filled in. So I don't know. I really love this spread. It's really unique. Really, you would just have enough room at the top, maybe to write like a really small, like September 21st through 27th or something like that. Like this is a very minimal, almost like scientific-esque looking thing. Obviously you could cutesy it up however you wanted. And by all means, if you use a spread, cutesy it up however you want. And I probably would put like, a line of color here. And obviously I would do it in pen instead of pencil. Like I would go over this in pen instead of pencil if I decided to use it. But yeah, I love this spread. So let's get into the next one. That's very, very similar to this one. So, okay, this one didn't turn out so hot. Like I used this marker again and it just gave me a lot of trouble. And I don't know. I wasn't very patient when I was making my lines and they're just too dark. But anyway, so if we can look past the the perfect flaws that I made, and just look at the spread. I also really like this. So it's the same concept as this one, same exact, specs, except the top block I filled in with color. So you don't have to, you can't even see those, numbers and weeks and stuff. Again, I would use a lighter color if you were going to actually do what I did and right on top of it, because I think it was too dark. Now, if you did something like this where you had this dark line, this could even be a black line. I would really like it if this was like a sharp black line and then you put like a Monday sticker there. I think that would look really good. But anyway, so it's the same purpose. You would have 4 lines to journal, for each day. And you'd fit all 7 days on the page. I do think for this spread and the previous one I showed you, you could split this into like 3 or 4 sections. And why I think that would be really cool is because let me think, like a homeschool mom could be like, okay, I have 4 kids that I homeschool. So I'm going to do this spread, and then, this is going to be Sally. This is going to be AJ. This is going to be Paul, and this is going to be Kim. And then, okay, on Mondays, these are the 4 things that Sally works on, AJ works on. You know what I mean? Like this could work for something like that. It could also work if you were like going on vacation, and this spread as well. Remember, like they're pretty much the same thing, but say like, they're not the same thing. One has a title thing and one doesn't. But say you split this into thirds and you were going on vacation. You could be like, okay, on Monday, we're arriving at the hotel at 11, and then we're going to go to the beach, and then we have dinner reservations here. Okay. On Tuesday, we're going to go to the beach early in the morning. Then we have lunch reservations, and then we're going to the boardwalk. You get what I'm saying? Like if you just had like quick things that you wanted to jot out for like a vacation, this would be a good spread. Honestly, any of these would be good for that. But I like this because you could see like all of our AM, all of our noon and PM, but you could also use obviously this spread for the same thing. Just depends on how much space you want to work with. The reason why I like a page like this for a vacation is because this could be a blank page. So you'd have your hotel address, the address of like the aquarium, different addresses and things you need for the vacation. And then you'd have your schedule. So you just need one page, see the whole vacation. And then you could use the rest of the pages for like journaling about your vacation or something. That's just a thought I had. But anyway, this is a really good spread for that. And again, the specs on this are 4 blocks, which is 3/4 of an inch instead of 5 blocks, which is an inch, by 23 blocks, which is 4.5 inches. Okay. So moving on to this next spread. Oh my gosh, if I was in school or had a 9-to-5 job, this spread, oh my gosh, I love it. Okay. So let me tell you why I love it. Because you get your whole week. I'm so sorry that my camera keeps shaking and things are not always in focus. So again, I love this spread now that you can see it. Hopefully you like it too. I would draw it in pen, obviously, if I was going to like commit to it. But, the reason why I love this so much is because again, you have a lot of space. You could split these boxes up however you needed them for your 9 to 5, your Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? But then your weekend, which could be more fun, is where you have these fatter boxes. So you might have like a nail appointment or like Sunday lunch, but you have a lot of room for like stickers and cutesy stuff, which you still have room for up here, like maybe on the edge or maybe right under the date, but you have a lot of room for like business. This is like business in the week, party on the weekend type of spread. And I just really, really like it. That's not how my life is set up currently, but I think when I was in school or when I worked a 9 to 5, I would love a job like this. And again, if your weekend was like Sunday, Monday, I would just, rotate this. So it was like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I would just put my weekend down here. Let me tell you the specs on this. So again, it's the same as the last 2 up here. You get 23 blocks across and 5 blocks down, which is 4.5 inches by 1 inch, a ton of space. Great. Love that. And then down here, you get 7 blocks by 11.5 blocks, which is 1 3/8 by 2 1/4. So it's a ton of space. And then you have like all this area up here for a header, which is the only thing this spread and this spread lack, is they don't have the room for that cute header. That's why I think it would be really good to pair them with a blank page. You could also pair this with a blank page or with something like this, right? So all of these could be paired with a page like this as well, which would be really cool. And for vacation, I think it would be really cool too. So yeah, honestly, I really like the idea of having like a blank page or a spread like I just showed with something like this or the vertical one that I showed before. Okay. I think is this the last one? Yeah. Okay. So this is my very last one. And I really like this one. I know it comes across as super basic. We all know this spread. We all had this planner in high school. It's literally just 8 horizontal boxes, Monday through Sunday. It's, we've all had this planner. But in a bullet journal, we can work it so differently. So give you the specs on it before we jump into that. You get 8 blocks down, 23 blocks across, especially if you put, you put the days in the margin, which I think looks honestly really good. Again, this is done in pencil. I would do it in pen, but I really like the aesthetic of this, and you still get all that space at the top for like a header or washi tape or something, which is I really appreciate that about this spread. So that's 1.5 inches of space by 4.5 inches. I mean, this is a ton of space, a ton of workable space. What I like about this is you could split this each day into 3 boxes, and those boxes would be 8 blocks, which is 1.5 inches by 8 blocks, which is 1.5 inches. Or I think this one might be 7. Yeah, these ones are 7, but you get that extra margin for 8. So I counted it as 8 because you would get that margin, which I would use if I wanted to, like if I needed that. But you don't need to split it into 3 blocks. You could split it into 2, and then like you'd have this big block and then this. You can split this however you want. I really like this from the fact that like you could literally just put one line the whole way down on both sides. And then this could be really decorative in here. And then your outsides could be like really practical. Yeah, I think there's a lot you could do. I think this spread is very similar to my other ones with a week on 2 pages. It could really work for anything because there's so much room. You could do anything you needed. So if you truly needed this much space, you could do that. Another thing, again, observation or journals where you don't want to journal a full page, but you just want to get your thoughts down. This would be really good for like a mood journal. How was I feeling today? Or how was I feeling in the AM, noon, and PM? Again, there's so much space here. You could literally journal the heck out of this. And then on one, it's 2 pages, but like on one opening, you would have your whole entire week. I really like that. And then of course you get this extra box, which is where I drew the lines, but you wouldn't have to draw the lines there if you didn't want to. You could put anything up here. You could put like a big bold quote, practice your lettering. Oh, this spread. Okay. This spread would be really good for practicing like pretty hand lettering, or for my purposes, like learning to write with my right hand. This spread would be really good with that too, because you have a lot more room, this way than the other way that I was doing it. I might try this way, honestly. But yeah, so I think this spread would be really good too. And honestly, I cannot pick which one is my favorite. I'll just, here at the end, I'll just go back through all of them. So that you can see, I can't choose which one is my favorite. I think I'm going to end up probably using a variety and probably multiple during the week. But this spread is the one that I didn't expect to like until we started this video. And then I was like, I really like the idea of tracking my time like that, especially if the markers were straight as I can get them. I might even use colored pencil. Like I just see like a very faint, like pastel color for each of these would be really nice. Colored pencil could be good. Here's this spread. Let me go back. Here's this spread. This one's really nice. I like this one a lot. And then this one, which is the same, just with the markers. And then this spread with the task that I really like. Okay, so that's everything I have for you for this video. If you liked any of these spreads or you have any other ideas, let me know in the comments. I know this was a long video, but I really hope you got, something out of it. I really enjoyed making it. I'm just having so much fun in my B6 Stalogy, really figuring out how it's going to work for me. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you did make it this far in the video, I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to my channel and like the video. It would help me out so much. Thank you to everyone who's watching these videos. I wasn't sure if anyone was going to watch them, and the last video actually did better than I expected. So just thank you to anyone who's watching this. Again, I really hope that was helpful, and I will talk to you later. Bye-bye.